What if I told you that the car sitting in your driveway right now could become twice as powerful tomorrow? Not by buying a new one, not by spending 50 grand, but by swapping out one single component. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because what's about to happen in the electric vehicle world is going to flip everything you know about cars completely upside down. Here's the thing. Most people look at a battery and see a boring box that holds electricity. Nothing special. Nothing exciting. But the engineers working late nights in Texas saw something completely different. They saw the key to unlocking a problem that's haunted electric cars since day one. And in 2026, they're about to prove that everything we thought we knew about batteries was just the beginning. Let's talk about lithium for a second. You know that chemistry that made smartphones possible and put electric cars on the map. For years, lithium-ion was the golden child of energy storage. It powered everything. Your phone, your laptop, even rockets launching into space. It was revolutionary, no doubt about it. But here's what nobody wants to admit out loud. Lithium has been holding us back. It's heavy, it's expensive, and it breaks down faster than you'd like. Engineers knew this. They've known it for years. The race has been on to find something better. Scientists tried everything. Solid-state batteries that promised the world, but never left the lab. Sodium-ion cells that sounded good on paper but couldn't deliver. Graphene experiments that looked impressive in research papers but failed in real-world conditions. Every attempt hit a wall, until one metal that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time stepped into the spotlight: aluminum. Now here's where it gets interesting. Aluminum-ion batteries aren't some brand new discovery. Researchers were tinkering with this stuff almost 10 years ago at universities around the world. The concept was brilliant in its simplicity. Take aluminum, a metal that's everywhere, dirt cheap and endlessly recyclable, and use it instead of lithium. The appeal was obvious. But there was a catch. Actually, several catches. Aluminum ions don't behave like lithium. They're bulkier, slower, more stubborn. Early prototypes could charge fast, sure, but they couldn't hold enough energy to power anything meaningful. So the technology got shelved, forgotten, left to collect dust in academic journals while the world kept spinning on lithium. Fast forward to a massive facility in Texas. Behind closed doors, a team with a very specific mission got to work. They called it Project Helios, named after the ancient god of the sun. Dramatic? Maybe. But the goal was even bigger than the name. Build a battery that charges in the time it takes to grab coffee, make it last longer than most marriages, and price it lower than what most people spend on a phone. Impossible. That's what everyone said about landing rockets on drone ships, too. The breakthrough came from rethinking the entire game. Instead of designing batteries that get welded into the car forever, they created something modular. Think of it like this. Most car companies treat batteries like they're part of the skeleton. Once it's in, it stays in. You can't change it without tearing the whole car apart. But what if you could? What if you built your cars with a universal battery interface that lets you swap power sources like you'd swap hard drives in a computer? Suddenly your car isn't stuck in time. It can evolve. Here's what that means in real terms. Let's say you bought an electric car a few years ago. Nice car, does the job, but the range is okay, not amazing. Charging takes an hour at best. Now imagine this. You drive to a service center in 2026. Instead of trading your car in and losing thousands in depreciation, you pay $5 grand. They pull out your old battery pack and slide in a brand new aluminum-ion unit. Just like that, your car goes from 300 miles of range to 1,000. Charging drops from an hour to 5 minutes. You just turned your 5-year-old car into something that didn't exist yesterday. Why would any company allow that? Why make old products better when you could force people to buy new ones? Here's the thing. The smartest companies don't just sell products. They sell ecosystems. They build relationships that last decades, not just until the next model year. When your car can evolve like software instead of dying like hardware, you stay loyal. And loyalty is worth more than any single sale. Now let's peek under the hood of this aluminum-ion beast. Each cell pumps out around 20 volts compared to the old standard of less than 4. That's 5 times more punch per cell. Most electronics would literally melt trying to handle that kind of power. But here's where it gets clever. Through a software update, your car learns a new language. It's like teaching your brain to think in a completely different way overnight. The car you've been driving suddenly knows how to manage this wild new chemistry without breaking a sweat. But power like that creates heat. Serious heat. So they engineered something straight out of science fiction. Under every battery module runs a network of microscopic liquid channels. Imagine veins carrying blood through your body, keeping everything at the perfect temperature. These thermal highways move heat so efficiently that even during the fastest charging sessions, everything stays cool. Below 113 degrees, even when you're pumping in enough electricity to power a small neighborhood. Picture this scenario. You're on a road trip. Your battery hits 20%. You pull into a charging station, walk inside, order your coffee, add cream, grab a snack, maybe check your phone. Before you finish that coffee, your car's ready for another 1,000 miles. Not hours, not even 30 minutes. 5 minutes. That's it. For anyone who remembers when charging overnight felt like living in the future, this is a full circle moment. This is what electric cars always promised but never quite delivered. And safety? That was the elephant in the room everyone was worried about. Batteries catching fire. Thermal runaway. Those horror stories that kept people up at night. Well, these new packs are built different. Even if you somehow punctured one, even if you set it on fire from the outside, it won't trigger a chain reaction. The cooling system isolates every module. Each one is its own fortress. When they say it's safe enough for your garage, they mean it. Let's talk money for a minute because this is where everything changes. Analysts ran the numbers. A 60 kilowatt-hour aluminum-ion pack, enough for about 1,000 miles, costs $5,000 installed. Read that again. $5,000 for what used to require buying an entirely new vehicle for $30,000 or more. The math isn't just good, it's revolutionary. Why drop $30,000 on a new car when you can supercharge your current one for pocket change? This isn't just about batteries anymore. This is about completely rewriting how we think about ownership. For decades, we lived in a throwaway culture. Your phone gets old? Buy a new one. Your car gets outdated? Trade it in. But what if things didn't have to be that way? What if your car lasted decades and just kept getting better? Software updates we're used to. Hardware updates? That's the new frontier. And it creates something powerful. Instead of churning out new cars constantly, companies keep you in their ecosystem forever. They make money through upgrades, through services, through a relationship that never ends. Billions in revenue without building new factories or shipping metal across oceans. But here's the real question. Will they actually offer this to regular people? The rumors say yes, but with conditions. Internal whispers suggest retrofits will work for cars built in 2020 or later. Older models might get left behind because of physical differences in how they're built. The program would come with safety inspections, limited appointment slots, and an 8-year warranty on the new pack. It's not charity. It's strategy. They'll sell new cars first, make their profit, then open up retrofits for the loyal fans who stuck around through everything. The production delays, the software bugs, the infamous build quality issues. For those people, this feels like a reward for believing when everyone else doubted. But zoom out for a second. There's a bigger question looming. What happens when millions of these ultra-fast charging cars hit the power grid all at once? The infrastructure is already struggling. Summer heat waves knock out power. Winter storms cause blackouts. Texas alone has had to beg people to turn off their air conditioners just to keep the lights on. On one brutal June day, temperatures hit 110 degrees and electricity use shattered records. So if millions of cars suddenly start drawing 5 times more power, doesn't that spell disaster? The answer is actually brilliant in its simplicity. Don't take power when everyone else needs it. The next generation charging stations come with massive battery packs built right in. These storage units fill themselves overnight when electricity is cheap and the grid is quiet. When you show up for your 5-minute charge, you're not pulling from the active power grid. You're drawing from stored energy. It's like having a buffer that protects the system instead of straining it. At home, it's even smarter. Most people charge their cars overnight in their garage or driveway. The average person drives about 40 miles a day, which needs roughly 10 kilowatt hours of electricity. A standard home charger handles that easily. And with smart software, your car waits until 2 in the morning when electricity rates are lowest before it starts charging. You never think about it. It just happens. Quiet, invisible, automatic. Now imagine this. A massive storm rolls through and knocks out power across your city. In the old world, you'd be lighting candles and hoping the food in your fridge doesn't spoil. In this new world, your car becomes your backup generator. A single 80 kilowatt-hour battery pack can power your entire home. Lights, refrigerator, internet, even air conditioning for almost 3 full days. If 1 million car owners participate in vehicle-to-grid programs, they'd collectively store 80 gigawatt-hours of backup energy. That's equivalent to 50 coal plants. Instead of draining the grid, these cars become a decentralized army of power stations. They feed energy back during peak hours and recharge when the system rests. Some cities are already testing this in real neighborhoods right now. So the next time someone complains that electric cars will break the grid, you can tell them they've got it backwards. Electric cars might be the ones that save it. This is where the real vision comes into focus. This isn't just about building cars. It's about building an energy empire. Solar panels on rooftops collecting energy, home battery packs storing it, city-scale storage systems managing it, and now cars carrying it everywhere. All of it connected through one digital nervous system. This isn't about selling hardware anymore. It's about controlling how energy flows through civilization itself. Imagine a world where your car, your house, and your office all share electricity intelligently, cutting waste, slashing bills, and you never have to think about it. That's the end game, but the competition sees what's coming. Traditional automakers are scrambling. Startups are pivoting. Even massive overseas manufacturers are racing to catch up. They all see the same thing. A world where range anxiety disappears completely, where batteries outlast the car itself, where electric vehicles cost less than gas cars. For the oil industry, this is existential. The last advantage gasoline has left is convenience, the 5-minute fill-up. When electricity matches that, the game is over. There will always be skeptics. Some will call it marketing hype. Others will question whether it's really safe or durable. Some will say it's too good to be true. But skeptics said the same thing about every major milestone. The first electric sports car. The factory that wasn't supposed to work. Self-driving technology. Rockets that land themselves. Every single time the world laughed, until it didn't. And the people who believed early were the ones who shaped what came next. So picture this. It's 2026. You walk up to your car parked in the driveway. The morning sun hits its body, which somehow feels lighter, stronger, more alive. You tap the handle. The door opens silently. Inside, the car wakes up instantly, fully charged, ready to go. You plugged it in last night, but it only took 5 minutes to fill up. No gas stations. No fumes, no noise, just silent, endless power. The dashboard glows softly with the words, 1,000 miles remaining. No anxiety, no stress, just freedom. The kind we dreamed about when electric cars were science fiction. You pull onto the highway and realize something profound. Every building you pass, every streetlight, every hum of civilization might soon run on the same quiet force sitting beneath you right now. That's what it means when someone says batteries will be massive. Not massive in size, massive in impact. The kind that rewrites history. Aluminum-ion isn't just a new battery technology. It's a bridge between what was and what's coming. For those who grew up with gasoline in their veins, this might feel like losing something. But it's not an ending. It's the start of something better. So when someone asks if this is the battery that kills lithium, tell them no. It's the battery that begins something far greater. A world where cars evolve, where energy flows like water, where progress means renewal, not replacement. And that's what makes this worth paying attention to. Not just the technology, not just the numbers, but what it represents. Progress with purpose. Because soon, when your car wakes up with a new aluminum heart, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember where you heard it first. If this sparked something in you, hit that like button and subscribe, because what's coming next isn't just about cars. It's about the revolution of everything we thought we knew about energy, motion, and the future itself. Stay curious, stay driven, and keep your eyes on what's ahead, because it's going to be one hell of a ride.